Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. I've got a crazy, there we go. Okay. Well, good morning. We have another snow day here. If you guys are in Kansas City, you're feeling my pain. Maybe anywhere in the Midwest, more snow days than we can even count. It's getting a little crazy. I hope you're doing well this morning. It's episode 3 of the podcast out today. And today we're talking about escape. I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes because I know there's a little lag with the whole Facebook Live thing. But we are talking about escape in this week's episode. This is part 3 of this 4-part introductory series where we're talking all about what is anxiety. And today we're talking about escape because that is what most of us try to do with anxiety, right? We notice that we're feeling anxious. This happens with any negative emotion. We may notice that we're sad. We may notice that we're stressed. We may notice that we're overwhelmed, that we're feeling guilty about something, that we're angry about something. And a lot of us just try to escape that emotion. We don't want to feel that way. And so that's what we're talking about in this episode today, specific ways that we try to escape from anxiety. And a lot of these things don't really look like coping mechanisms. They don't look like escape tactics. They look like just what we do on an ordinary evening. They may look like things like Netflix, right? Shopping on Amazon. They may look like drinking, overeating. There's a lot of ways, overworking. That's another really popular one. Oh, I'm so busy. We're going to do a whole episode about busyness and debunking busyness. Did I talk about that last week? You can tell that's a hot topic for me. I've already talked about it twice. But these are the ways that we try to escape our emotions. These are the ways that we try to escape feeling any negative emotion, especially anxiety. We keep ourselves busy. We keep ourselves distracted. We escape from feeling that emotion. The trouble with this is, we think this is clever. We think that we're going to route around it. The trouble with it is, most of the time, those escape tactics, those little techniques that we're coming up with, hey Steve, most of those escape tactics create their own set of consequences, right? Most of them are not the healthiest, most fulfilling, like self-bettering sorts of things, right? They create their own set of consequences because now we've eaten stuff we didn't need to eat and we weren't hungry for, or we're over drinking, we're spending money that we don't want to or need to spend, or maybe money we don't have. We're hanging out with people we don't want to be hanging out with. We're zoning out in the evening. We're watching hours and hours of TV instead of, what we want to be doing. If you were to, this is what the worksheet for this week's episode really goes into. If you were to think of like an ideal time, an ideal evening, an ideal weekend, whatever that chunk of time looks like, and how you would ideally spend that time. And then I want you to compare that to how you do spend that time. Where do Tuesday nights go? Where do Saturday mornings go? What happens in your life where it's just like, I don't know, I wasn't very intentional about Saturday morning, but now it's already Sunday evening and I'm getting ready for the work week and I don't even know where that time went, right? This is what happens to so many of us, and we're not intentional about that time. And a lot of the reason that we're not intentional about that time is because we're too busy trying to escape the things that we don't want to be feeling, things we don't want to be looking at, things we don't want to be questioning, things we just don't want to go into. It feels too hard, it feels too big. And so we escape into fun things like Amazon Prime, Netflix, work. Some of these things look really noble too. And I want to highlight that because there's a lot of people that I know in my personal life who are very, very busy volunteering. Right? They're up at the school all the time. Maybe they're in charge of, or they participate with a few different organizations and they organize all these great events, right? And they're just very busy all the time. I'm like, what's so exciting about being busy all the time? What would happen if you weren't that busy? What would you do with all of that downtime? What would you have to look at? What would you have to feel, right? I think these are good questions to ask. So like I said, the worksheet that goes along with this episode goes into all of that and helps you to distinguish, where are you relaxing? Where are you doing things that you truly enjoy? Where are you intentionally creating joy and pleasure in your life? And where have you gone into distraction and escape? Where are you pushing against either emotions or circumstances, tricky thoughts, things that are coming up for you, that, big, hard questions, things that are challenging in life? So that's what this week's worksheet is all about. Head on over to the website, kellyhanlonmccormick.com/podcast/3, and you can pick that up. Hopefully you are subscribed to the podcast now and you're getting that. It should be, I think it releases at like 4 a.m. or something ridiculous, so that it's ready to rock and roll when you are, and accompany you on either your commute or whether you're, getting stuff ready for the day. I listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm getting ready or just kind of doing chores around the house. So I know a lot of us don't really, do any of us sit down while we're watching or while we're listening to a podcast and take notes? Does anybody do that? No, I don't think so. We've got too much stuff to do because we're busy, right? It gets back to our busyness. So that's why I've created these worksheets, though, is so that then later on you can go over to the website, you can get that downloadable worksheet, and that will accompany what you heard in the podcast and hopefully take that work a little bit further. So that's episode number 3. Next week we'll do the last part of this 4-part series. We're going to talk about what is the goal with anxiety. So now that we've talked about, we're trying to escape from anxiety and that's not a good idea, then, okay, what the heck do we do with it, right? So that's what we're going to talk about next week. So stay tuned for episode number 4, where we're going to talk about that. Those 4 episodes will all work together in that what is anxiety theme. And then from here, that's going to lay the groundwork for all the stuff that we're going to do. And I've got ideas. I planned out everything that we're going to do for all of 2019 before I even got started. So I know exactly where we're going to take this. I know exactly what we're going to do every week. And I'm so excited. These 4 episodes really lay that foundation for where we're going to head. So as you know, or as you may be learning, I'm an avid tea drinker. I always have my tea close by. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of share with you what I'm sipping on, because I'm always sipping on, can you see this? Fun, different, not really, because it's kind of empty. This morning I'm sipping on what's called Genmai Cha. So this is, you can't really see it, but I don't want to dump this all over my computer. It's a green tea mixed with puffed rice. And back in the day in Japan, they would do this to make their tea last longer. So it was kind of the poor man's tea, that they would mix rice and puffed rice with their green tea to make their tea go further and last longer. But now I think it's just a really delicious, it's kind of like there's a kind of soupy, savory flavor to it. And the reason that I've been sipping on Genmai Cha in the mornings is because I'm doing this intermittent fasting. And I'm trying to push that morning smoothie that I have into more of like an early lunchish smoothie. Like I'm going to probably have it right after I finish this. So that'll be close to 11:30 or so. So I've been sipping on Genmai Cha in the mornings, which has been kind of nice because it feels kind of savory. It feels kind of, like the flavors of a meal. So I don't know if there's any other intermittent fasters out there and what you like to do and your little tips and tricks to get through your intermittent fasting. Oh, there's Tad. Hi, Tad. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing. I usually have my hot lemon water first thing in the morning with a little bit of ginger and sometimes some cayenne. And then I'm doing my Genmai Cha to have something that feels a little soupy and a little bit savory. And that gets me through till I start eating for the day. Gets me through that intermittent fasting. And okay, last week I talked about The Night Tiger. You guys, it was fantastic. If you're interested in, I didn't know I was interested in this. Sometimes you don't know you're interested until you start a great book. 1930s, it's in China, it's in Malaysia, and it follows this family, and there's just some Chinese folklore and some superstitious legend kind of stuff. It was a really, really gorgeous book. So The Night Tiger, I recommend that one. I finished it just last night. I was up a little bit later than I should have been because I was finishing that book. But I'm super excited. This week today I'm going to start The Winter Sister by Meghan Collins. And what's fun about the internet and social media is that it's kind of like this great equalizer between normal people and celebrities and authors, and we all kind of have more access to each other. So Meghan Collins is super active on Instagram, which is fun, and she did a call for having readers take pictures of her book next to their fur babies, their cats and their dogs. She's a big dog lover. So I told her challenge accepted, and I will be taking photos of the Winter Sister with one of my cats. You guys saw Maya. She's sleeping here next to me, but I've got a lot of cats. We've got 4 cats in this house, which is at least 2 too many. I'm well aware. Yes, crazy cat lady. But anyway, we'll be snuggling up since it's still snowing outside. Well, it's not still snowing. We're just snowed in. So I'll be doing that later today. So tell me, you guys, in the comments, whether you're listening to this now or whether you're joining me later after the live broadcast, tell me in the comments, what are you reading? What are you sipping on? Are you interested in intermittent fasting? I want to get to know you and all of your daily habits and kind of what you're up to. And then, like I said, please come on over to the website. If you're listening to the podcast, kellyhanlonmccormick.com/podcast/3 for all of the show notes. You can actually listen to the podcast from there and download your worksheet for this week to support you. There's, it's one thing to listen to the podcast. It's one thing to think about this stuff and intellectualize it. It's another thing to really put pen to paper and start applying this work and putting it into your life. So that is what I sincerely hope these worksheets are helping you do and support you in this journey. So, all right, I think that's it for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday and a great rest of the week wherever you are, whether it's sunny and warm and delightful or whether you are snowed in like me. Spring will be coming, right? All right, well, you guys take care. DM me, leave comments here, come see me over on the podcast, come see me on the website. I would love to touch base with you. So thanks for joining, and I will see you next week, where we'll talk about part 4 of the 4-part introductory series, and then we're going to get excited to move on into all the fun places we're going to go from here now that we've laid a solid foundation. So anyway, I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye for now.